Hey everybody, welcome back to FTB Infinity, and this is episode number 8. So, in the last episode, you probably remember, if I just turn around, you probably remember that we were doing the setup for the Ender farm using the auto spawner, and the way I'd left it was the setup, the infrastructure was all there, and we just need to populate it with sheep and get some seeds growing, etc., etc. We've done all that now. So it's running along. I'm going to try not to get too close to those sheep because the noise is absolutely appalling over there. So it's kind of running along. It's not massively efficient. I didn't expect it to be. However, the biggest two reasons why it's not efficient is number one, because I just have to go a little bit closer, because the lambs, once they're born, they take quite a large number of ticks before they turn into adults and then can be killed with the grinder. And also the wheat. So I've got just a standard 9x9 plot of land, and yeah, the wheat is not growing as fast as I would like it to, and it's certainly not growing fast enough to keep up with demand for feeding the sheep over there. So at some point in time, it won't be this episode, I am going to have to do something to increase the efficiency of that. I'll probably make a spawner. I won't make a spawner at all. I'll probably make a sprinkler or something like that. And in the meantime, I've made a watering can, as you can see, from Extra Utilities. It's quite a good item actually. I first discovered this playing Sky Factory, and I've kind of looked for it in every pack that I've played since then. It's just basically a few bits of iron, a bowl, and a bit of bone meal, and you fill it up like you would do a standard bucket, and then you can just, when you're near crops or whatever, hold down the right mouse key, and it speeds up the tick rate and whatever you're growing. So enough of that chatter anyway. So, yeah, we're collecting up a few ender pearls, and that is going to enable us to at least start on the next task, which is getting this, I kept calling it the Ender Mine in the last episode. Obviously, it's not. It's the Ender Quarry. It's going to allow us to get all that set up and the Ender tanks, or at least it will contribute to it. Now, one of the things down here, and I am, as always, going to sort of waffle on a little bit, but I'm going to keep it short as possible. I said, yeah, I was going to cover up all these pipes. Unfortunately, I've not been able to do that because the Forge micro blocks, for some reason in this pack, doesn't seem to have all the blocks. I think it's only lapis that you can actually turn into covers and panels. So I don't know what's going on with that. I've never seen it in a pack before, but it seems that's a thing. So we're not going to come down here that often anyway, and certainly we won't have to see that. So I don't think it'll bother us that much. We'll just come down this side and grab the ender pearls. Anyway, what is next? Well, we had a bit of a problem with the tree farm, and that same problem is also going to afflict us a little bit with the wheat on the other side. And that is that the quarry stopped working and trees were half chopped down. You can see I put some blocks up here with some torches on, and mobs started to spawn in this room. Now, the reason why that's happened is because the harvester actually has a thing in here called sludge. Now, I knew it, but I'd forgotten all about it. What you need to do is find a way of getting the sludge out of here. Now, there are a few ways. You can drain the stuff off into tanks, and that can then be used in, I think it's the sludge boiler, which you can get some extra drops. Not particularly interested in that right now. Really, I mean, I'm going to create a load of this stuff, so if I ever want it in future, I can change this around. But we can use something called a void pipe, and I think that's out of Buildcraft. Yeah, it is Buildcraft Transpipe. So this is what we want. The void fluid pipe. We just need a normal pipe here, which is going to require some black dye, powder, whatever, and a bit of glass and a bit of redstone. All easy stuff. And then to turn it into the fluid pipe, we just need some pipe sealant, which we can make just either with a slime ball or some cactus green. Both easy enough. So we'll grab some cactus green because that's easy enough. So I should have shown you how we actually make that. That is just by smelting a standard piece of cactus. Go down to the right one. Just by smelting up a standard piece of cactus. So a quick trip over to the desert, we'll grab some cactus and then we can get that done. And that's just one of those little bits and pieces that annoys us that we can do. I've also used the what are they called now? Transport pipes, just to route the coal, the charcoal underneath the base all the way through here to this generator and the food generators over the other side as well. And while we're in the desert, because we want to make ender tanks as our first point of call, we're going to need blaze rods for that. If I just go into the recipe, just here. Yeah, so we're going to need blaze rods for that, and we'll use some of the plants that I showed you in the desert the other time. So let's just nip over there. So desert hideout. Just wait for that to catch up with itself, and straight away there is some cactus, so we will just grab that like so. In fact, let's probably just grab a few more pieces of that because I don't know how much of this void pipe I'm going to need going forward, and it's just one trip less that I have to make out of the base. There we go. Right, that'll do of that. Now let's just grab some of these plants. Now there's a couple over here, and grab that. In fact, if we just grab as many as we can actually see. So where are some more? Let's just fly up a little bit and have a look around. I did say before that they're absolutely everywhere, but now I can't see any. Let's just jump over that. Those little cactuses, I tell you, they are really annoying. Jump over that. Seem to remember there was some on the other side of it. Yeah, there was. Yes. Right, so we'll just grab those few over here as well, and I think that'll probably be enough for now. Make sure that I actually pick them up. Alright, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Just going to go back and... oh, a bit of lag there. So we go back and grab those, and then we will teleport back to the base, like so. Just wait for everything to load back in again. And we can nip over to the crafting table, or the crafting station as it's now known. Drop those in there, and we can turn those into blaze powder. And I can't now remember how to turn them into blaze rods, so let's just hit U on that and just see how we actually go about doing that. So we need to compress them? Really? Is that the only way? Seems that it is. I can't now remember how I got the previous blaze rods. Maybe I did kill a blaze while I was in the nether at some point. Okay, so we're going to have to make a compressor. Well, hopefully that's not going to be too difficult. That certainly wasn't something that I'd intended to do. It wasn't something that I'd intended to do in this session. You know, I'm quite tempted to actually go and grab that blaze spawner from the nether instead, because then that'll save us having to go up and collect all those plants anyway, and we'll have sort of an endless supply of blaze rods there. Let's just have a quick look and see how easy the compressor is to make first of all before we make that decision. So the compressor, what are we going to need? Some smooth stone, a circuit, a machine casing, some iron plating, so we can get that with our hammer. That's easy enough. The electric circuit is just some insulated. Do you know what? That's not actually that difficult to to make. So let's just go and grab our IC2 stuff. And we want the cutters and the hammer. I've already got a bunch of iron plates. Let's just drop off some of this stuff for now, because that's just going to get in the way. There's a load of this that I don't. I'll keep the bucket for now. There's a load of this that we don't actually need. And yeah, that'll do for now. Right, so let's drop into here and just work out how much of this that we need. So we need six of the cables. So we've got no copper. Have I got any in the bag before I go running back over there? No, I haven't. Right, so let's just go and grab some copper from over here, like so. Way too much copper, but hey, it doesn't matter. And so pop that in there. Use the hammer to make a few plates. You know what? We'll just make that many. And then pop the plates in here to make the actual cable. And then we are going to need to grab some rubber, which, as always, I'm probably going to have to hunt around a bit for to find. Deary me. It's kind of a bit like Groundhog Day. Again. Right, I'll be back when I've got some rubber. Okay, so we've got some rubber. Let's just pop that into the furnace and get that smelted up really quickly. And then we can just attach that onto the copper. Let's just put that in there ready. You can attach that onto the copper and yeah, easy peasy. Make sure that we've actually got some smooth stone ready to go. And let's just look what else we needed for this. Yeah, so the iron plates. In fact, while we're waiting for that, let's just get that done, because that was easy enough. There's our basic casing. And a couple of bits of redstone, which I've got. Good. I think we're actually sort of good to go on that. While we're just waiting for that, there was one other thing that I wanted to look at, and I think, can we just go over there now? I found, in fact, rather than try and explain it, I'll just show you it. So the tree down here with the web on, it's like a great wood. It's like a great wood tree, but basically, I'm just going to be really careful because spiders do come out of this. They actually have usually a spawner underneath. Oh, there we go, and there's a spider. Let's just, can we just give that a few taps quickly, maybe? There we go. Right, just got to try and find the spawner really quickly, and yeah, there we go. So let's just break the spawner. Right, underneath that, yeah, there's usually some quite good stuff, but not in this particular instance. In the past, let's just make some room. In the past, I've actually found a division sigil in one of those. I was just thinking that potentially could have fast-tracked me to making a better spawn system for the Enderman. A bit cheaty, but yeah, unfortunately not. We just grab that. Just grab up that stuff. I still didn't have room. I thought I did. Yeah, just grab up this stuff, and we'll move back to the base, because the rubber will probably be done. But I don't really want that disc. We'll have to tin that. Yeah, very, very disappointing. Well, there's kind of a, yeah, I quite like this actually. You know what? This will be where I'm going to put the Ender Quarry. Once it's done, I'll put it so that it mines over this, because we will get plenty of bits and pieces. I don't like that sitting down there. We'll get plenty of bits and pieces that we don't normally get, like the oreberry bushes. They're pretty handy. It's just an extra little thing to have, really. Right, so let's teleport back to the base. And where were we? Which way? Let me out. Right, over here. We're going to grab up this bar. We're going to go in here. We're going to put the bars in, and we're going to put this in. We always use loads of this. Let's just make it all into that. So there's that. Bit of redstone with a plate in the middle, and there is our electronic circuit. And then we want stone, the casing, and I can't remember the last bit. There wasn't a last bit. There we go. And then we'll go and put the compressor over here next to the IC2 generator, seeing that that's now become our IC2 area. So the little red arrow there tells you that that is now ready to use. So we'll just grab our blaze powder out and pop that in there. And then that will turn into blaze rods, which we can then use to make our ender tank. There was one other thing that I forgot to mention. I updated my jetpack, so I've now got a hardened jetpack. Obviously it's a little bit better. You levitate a little bit faster, and the fuel lasts a little bit longer. It doesn't take that much more power to refuel it, and they're quite easy to make. Just needed a few bits of Invar, and in fact, again, rather than try and explain it, show you the recipe for that. So yeah, just use one of the leadstone flux capacitors that we'd already made, a few bits of Invar, a bit of tin. That was all easy enough. And then these hardened thrusters, which were redstone reception core, which just required, as always, a bit of gold and a bit of redstone. And these reactant dynamos, it just needed to make a whole load of bronze for, and then the transmission core, which uses silver instead of gold, and a bit more Invar. So easy enough. The next tier up, which is the reinforced jetpack, isn't quite as easy because we're moving then on to some more sort of alloys, and yeah, so we're starting to get into the realms of a little bit more fiddly. I mean, it's still nothing massively complicated, but it just starts to get a little bit more expensive, a little bit more time consuming to put it together, but we will be making that one relatively soon. And then the last one, the one that requires the Enderium, I can't remember how to say it now, but yeah, that one's quite a pain. That's quite late game. So anyway, the blaze rods should be done by now, hopefully. So we only actually got 2 blaze rods. Wow. So each blaze rod takes 4 of those blaze powders. I just want to have a quick look and see if I've actually got any more blaze powder lying around. Not enough, unfortunately, unless there's any more over this side, which there isn't. So I'm kind of thinking I'm going to have to go back to the desert and collect up a load more of that. So I will be back once I've done that. Okay, so I found another 20 of those. Yeah, kind of hoping that's enough. If not, then that's going to be quite depressing. So obviously I need to make that into blaze powder first of all, and then pop the blaze powder into the compressor. So we will just let that do its thing again for a minute. And yeah, a bit disappointing really. I didn't find anywhere near as many of those things as the cinder pearls. I didn't find as nearly as many of those as I thought I would do. And that is, yeah, it's quite annoying. Previously, whenever I found deserts, there's always been so many of them, but yeah, it took quite a while to gather those together. Let's just have a look, see how the ender pearls are doing. Yeah, it's going up slowly, so it's not anywhere near as fast as it will be once we get a better system in place. Definitely being held up by the using the sheep there. Right, so we've got enough for one. We just need another 3, and we can make the other. We can make the other ender tank, and that's all we've got of that. You know, I am actually quite tempted just to go and get that blaze spawner. We'd need a thing called a diamond dolly to actually go and get that. Let's just see how easy. Let's just see how easy that is. Sort of stop me having to mess around with. Let's just put in dolly. Actually, would be easier. There we go, diamond dolly. So we need normal dolly and 3. Yeah, that's actually really easy to make. We can just make a normal dolly. I think I'm really tempted just to actually do that. It'll be useful for the future anyway. So let's just pop that in there. And I thought I had the iron out. Where's all the iron gone? Was that one of the items I put in here? It was. So let's just pop back these bits and pieces that we don't need at the moment. Not really sure what that is. Standard binding agent. That was one of the things that I got from the chest underneath the spider tree, and a broken spawner. That may come in use. Okay, so some iron around the edge of that, and then we want a dolly with 3 diamonds underneath. Now I know that I've got the diamonds for this, so 1, 2, 3, and pop that in as well. And let's go and grab this blaze spawner. So I'll see you when I get there. Right, so the blaze spawner is up ahead, so I am just going to run straight on up, and I'm going to grab that like so. Now this will slow us down while that's in our hotbar, so we'll actually put that there, and it's still slowing us down. So it just means if you're grabbing this at all, if you're holding it at all. Now there is a blaze down there actually. I'm thinking to myself, is it wise to actually go and fight this whilst... Oh, is it wise to actually go and fight this whilst slowed down? And let's just wait for that to go out. Cool. Right, let's go back to the spawner, to the portal even, and get back to our base. And that was top of the spawner, top of the portal. Let's get back, and yeah, we're going to need to find somewhere to put this down. Okay, so we have our blaze spawner. I just want to grab this black flower while we're here, because we can use that for the void pipe. Just get up here. Right, pop the dolly with the spawner in there, and let's just pop back down to this area down here and turn that into powder. So we need this. Pop in here, petals, put the bowl in, and there is our floral black powder. We just need some glass and a bit of redstone, so just grab some more sand. As always, the trouble with making a bigger base is that it takes, especially when you're as unorganised as me, it takes absolutely forever getting anywhere. So let's just pop, no, there's no coal in that one, we'll use that one instead. Just need one bit of glass, and then we can just put all those bits and pieces together. So there, a bit of redstone. In fact, we want to make 2 of these, don't we? Bit of redstone, 1 bit of glass. Just wait for the other bit to finish. And there we go. And we're gonna pop this bit in here. In fact, we don't need to make 2 of those because they make 8 at a time. What are you doing? That's it, right. So there's that. And then we just need to smelt a bit of this cactus to get ourselves some cactus green. And we will be good to go on the void fluid pipe. There we go, cactus green. And that hasn't worked. Why has that not worked? Oh, because we need to turn that into pipe sealant. My mistake. Right, there we go. Pipe sealant. And there is our first of those pipes. So we do actually need to make another bit, but I will make that off camera. So let's just pop this down and make sure it works properly. I'm hoping, because we've got stuff obviously coming up to the bottom of this, I'm kind of hoping that I can do this from the side. We're about to find out, so let's pop that on there. And yeah, there we go. Excellent. So that worked straight away. So we can now go back down here and reconnect up this here. Now hopefully that will now be planting down saplings again, which it is. And this will now work much faster until these fill up. But in the next episode, we'll look at upgrading these barrels just so we don't have any more issues with that going forward. And now we've fixed our tree farm again. We'll do the same, as I say, I'll do it off camera, but we'll do the same over the other side with the harvester over here. And in the next episode, or by the next episode, I'll have set up another area behind this wall for the blaze spawner, and I can use the essence that we get from the grinder system for that to feed into the Enderman spawner here as well. So yeah, it's all coming together, and we will do in next episode what we were going to do in this episode, which was to get all the Ender Quarry system started up. So yeah, sorry we haven't achieved a lot today, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. But as always, if you like the video, drop us a like, and thanks ever so much for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.